Chris here with Barnyard Outdoors. I'm going to be going on vacation, heading out to California from Nebraska, and that is a 2-day drive. So I will be in the car for 2 days, and I got to take a bunch of stuff with me. But one of the things I like taking out is a bunch of Nebraska special items, right? We have a place called Valentino's. They make great pizza and great lasagna. We also have a fast food restaurant called Runza, and Runzas are the bomb, and you can't get them everywhere in the country, and you cannot get them on the West Coast. And since I'm going out to see family that was originally from Nebraska, I like taking them a little treat, and to do that, I need a way to keep things frozen in the back of the car for 2 days. And I've got a little tip I want to share because I've done this several times. It works great. I'm going to be using my IceCo APL 20 car fridge slash freezer, which I absolutely love, but I'm going to hook it up a little different here so I can leave it in the car. When we stop to stay somewhere overnight, I don't ever have to worry about things getting thawed out on it. So let me show you how this works and how easy it is, and I think this is a great solution for anybody that's doing either long road trips or overlanding or camping, going anywhere where they want to make sure that their car fridge is powered all the time, whether or not you've got the vehicle going. I don't have my cars cleaned out as I'd like it to be, but I did get this back area cleaned out, and this is where I'm gonna put the car fridge. All right, so the way to make this work is to have a battery pack. I mean, that's the simple solution, right? I'm gonna throw in this EcoFlow. So I'm gonna take my 12-volt adapter, and instead of plugging the fridge in, I'm gonna plug in the battery pack. Once this is plugged into the car, when the car is running, it will charge the battery, and the battery will run the car fridge. We'll get this placed up here out of the way, and I'm going to bring the fridge in. So I've already had this in the house plugged in to make sure it's nice and cold, so I can already put some stuff in there. One thing I love about this cover is I can easily put all my adapters and cables in it. Works out really well. So the plug is on this side. I'm going to need the 12-volt plug, which is right here. Get that plugged into the fridge, and then I'm going to plug it into the power pack and turn the power pack on. I'm going to make sure that the 12-volt is on, and then I'll make sure the fridge is on. And then since there's app control on both of these devices, I can easily hop into the app and see where I'm at. Right now I have the fridge set to freezing mode, and it's set to -4. So I'm going to go into the EcoFlow app and make sure I've got the EcoFlow set to slow charge on 12-volt. And I'm also going to make sure that it is not set to turn off after a certain amount of time. So there's an auto timeout, and I have it set to never and never and never. That way I don't have to worry about the EcoFlow battery pack turning off, and I also don't have to worry about the fridge then losing power. One other thing you got to keep in mind when you're doing stuff like this, each device has vents on it, right? You got to keep airflow around these things, especially since I'm going to have this in the car overnight. It's just going to be all locked up in here safe and sound, so I don't have to worry about anybody taking it, but I need to make sure that I don't block the airflow from either the EcoFlow unit. It's got to keep the battery cold, and also the IceCo fridge. You don't want the fridge or freezer to overheat. It's bad for the pump, it's bad for the motors. So always make sure you're not blocking any of the air vents. So I have that set in the car, and now we're going to reposition this. So I've got this set up, and if you look here, I love how this IceCo has all the settings here and the buttons. on the side. I don't have to worry about the top. I will put a ton of things on the top. Currently, I have the cover folded back a little bit. If you have a car fridge like this, I highly recommend getting the insulated cover. It just helps keep everything nice and cool. So as you can see here, I have my EcoFlow back in there, the car fridge here, and then I have plenty of room for luggage and all the other things that we're taking out. But I don't ever have to worry about this fridge. And if you've seen my other video, IceCo has an app for CarPlay, so I can sit up front and always check the status of the freezer in the back. I know that EcoFlow is working on a CarPlay app. It shows up in my CarPlay, but it doesn't see any devices. So I'm not sure when that's going to be ready, but that's going to be the best, because then I'll be able to look at both devices easily from the front of the vehicle when I'm driving down the road. It's going to be about 10 hours each day, so it's a long drive, and I worry about that stuff, right? I don't want my freezer to shut off. And the nice thing is the setup is the car will continue to charge the EcoFlow, and the EcoFlow will always be ready to power the car fridge. And now it's just a matter of getting things loaded up. So the first thing I'm putting in, some of this fresh frozen lasagna. You can easily close that up. And then in the freezer, I've also got things like runzas and other good stuff. I think the family's gonna really enjoy when I'm out there. Where are the runzas? Well, there they are. Oh, runzas. So this is a real easy way to transport frozen items or food items anytime you're out on the road. I can tell the fridge is running right now. Make sure everything fits in here nice and snug. So like I said, this is how I do it. I think it's kind of a great solution. I've been on some campouts where I've done the same type of thing. Driving down the road, I'm on the road for 6 hours. I don't need to worry about the fridge consuming all the power overnight from the battery pack. I know I'm going to start it up the next morning, and it's just going to work. It's going to be a great system there. So a couple things you need to remember when you're doing a setup like this. I mentioned going into the settings on the EcoFlow to make sure that it was drawing a little less power. I didn't want to draw a full 8 amps. That could be kind of hard on the wiring, especially this plug in the back. So I set it down to a lower 6 amp. And then I made sure that all the timeouts were turned off, because I don't want that battery pack to shut off ever. The other thing is I got to check the settings on the IceCo, because as I was looking at it here, I noticed my draw was a little bit high. And the reason is, if I go into my IceCo app, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not, probably not. But I have it set to freezing, but I have it set to max, not eco mode. So I'm going to switch this back to eco mode. That way it's not as big a draw to keep everything cool in here. Everything's already frozen in here, so I'm not worried about this thing having to work a lot, because I did plug it in the house, made sure everything was cool, and down to that -4 temperature that I have it set at, which I think is very, very important. Get that out of the way. It's just going to be more drain on your battery system if you're trying to cool it down. If you get in the car and just immediately start driving, it's fine. This IceCo, maybe 15 minutes. It does not take long. It's usually 15 to 20 minutes. This IceCo has got things down to freezing with no issues whatsoever. Just remember, the warmer the items you put in, the more work it's going to have to do. So I have switched that down. I'm going to check now, and now instead of 31 watts of draw on the IceCo, which was the max setting, now I'm on Eco, and it's only drawing 18 watts, which is perfect. So I'm going to hop in the car, make sure that the charging kicks on and everything works the way it's supposed to. All right, so now I've got the car on, and I'll put a screenshot up so you can see what this looks like. My output is still sitting around 18 to 20 watts, but my input, since I have it set at 6 amps instead of 8 amps, it's giving me 78 watts into the battery pack, which is awesome. And honestly, I can probably set that down to 4 amps of input. That will give me 53 watts in, which is more than enough. Remember, these fridges these fridge freezers, right? They cycle on and off. So it's drawing 20 right now, but in about 10 minutes, the compressor is going to turn off and it's going to draw 0. And then maybe 15, 20 minutes later, it's going to kick back on as well. So that 54 in is more than enough to recharge the battery plus handle the draw right now on the unit. And when I'm driving down the road, I can easily just hop into the app and see what's going on, right? So it's that simple. I mean, I've got the thing set up, it's ready to go. I shut the car off, it's back down to only drawing, let's see, 18 to 20 watts in, which is great. That's really all I need, right? And like I said, the important thing is that the fridge is running and keeping everything nice and cool. Back in the day, when I would just take a cooler, I would need a huge Yeti cooler and a ton of ice to keep everything cool. So I've done this setup before, it works out really good. I've been on some campouts where I was close to the vehicle. I didn't want to have to drag the fridge out, so why even bother, right? As long as it's in here and it's got the battery pack floating in it, it works great. And the draw is so minuscule on this APL20 from IceCo. I mean, it could probably sit in here for 2-3 days on this battery pack and not have any problem. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Remember to like this video and share it with your friends if they're going on a road trip and they're looking for a way to keep their fridge running when they're staying overnight in a hotel, or just decided to stop somewhere and they're worried about things starting to thaw out. This is a great solution. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see some of these videos coming up of me hiking up in the Sierra Nevadas. It's beautiful country and I can't wait to share it with all you guys. Thanks everybody for watching.